Good afternoon from our Fagnall Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College. We're going to have Elmhurst women's basketball here today as the Elmhurst Blue Jays host the North Park Vikings. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside for this edition of Elmhurst women's basketball on Blue Jay TV as the Blue Jays welcome North Park. North Park sitting at 5-4 on the season and 2-1 in the CCIW, while the Blue Jays are 3-5 and looking for their first conference win of the year. Starters being introduced down on the floor below us, and we'll get you those starters here in just a moment. For the Vikings, number 1, Lauren Alba Garner is a 5'3 guard from Niles. Number 5, that is Sinead Malloy, and Malloy is a 5'9 sophomore guard from Chicago. Number 15, Zakiah Newsome is a 5'4 sophomore guard from Glendale Heights. Number 20, Maddie Zander, a 5'6 freshman guard from Wheaton. And in the middle, number 33, 5'7 freshman forward from Wheaton, Jayla Johnson, rounds out the North Park starting lineup. And with the spotlights, you can tell the Blue Jay starters are about to get introduced. Here they are. Number 3, Kelly Clay, a 5'7 senior guard from Aurora. Lisa Logan, another senior guard, also 5'7", also from Aurora. Those two teammates at Mattia Valley High School when they played in their high school days. Number 20, Queen John, is a 6'3 freshman forward from Cypress, Texas, getting the start as a freshman, her 9th game played and her 8th start of the year. Kelly Wyrich is a 5'4 sophomore guard from Arlington Heights. She went to Hersey High School. She'll start today for the Blue Jays. And number 34, Courtney O'Donnell. It's a 5'10 sophomore forward from New Lenox. Went to Lincoln Way West High School. So that's starting lineup for these two teams. Both teams, Elmhurst trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. The North Park Vikings in unfamiliar territory. They've only played one road game so far this year, and that was a win against North Central, 83-82 in overtime last Saturday. But the Vikings played their first 8 games of the year at the North Park gym, and now they're going to try to get into the CCIW slate playing some road games against some tough competition, and we'll see how that goes today. Well, today is the annual teddy bear toss for the Blue Jays. I believe it's the 6th annual and the 2nd annual ugly sweater essentially party at the game. So you got a little stuffed animal there that Dennis is showing you in the screen, and we're able to donate stuffed animals, and then they are donated to the Ronald McDonald House. And in the first, I believe it was first 5 or 6 years of this program, about 8,000 stuffed animals have been donated to the Ronald McDonald House. So really great cause and really great participation by the Blue Jays and their fans, and everybody's getting their arms warmed up. I think I need to get my arm warmed up too. Dennis might need to also. Our arms aren't used to throwing things this far, at least not recently. So, and PA announcer Bruce getting us all set for the teddy bear toss, and you'll see just in a moment on your screen many teddy bears, in our case teddy dogs, flying down. So this is a ceremonial tip-off. We're not actually getting started, although Elmhurst does win the ceremonial tip-off. We'll see if they win the regular tip-off. And here they come. You can see them all across the court here in the 8,000, as I mentioned, up to this point in the 6 years of the program. So we'll see what the teddy bear toss gains this year, but it always seems to grow each year, and what a great cause for the Blue Jays, and spread some holiday cheer this December. And we will get the basketball game going here in just a moment as well. There's Tetney Carrillo right there in the screen. Nice applause from the fans, along with Victory Blue Jay, and a great idea from the women's basketball program. Anybody who brings a teddy bear to today's game, as long as it's new and has a tag on it, they get into the game for free. Pretty cool start to today's contest. Here it comes. Here's the opening tip and the regular tip, along with the ceremonial tip controlled by the Blue Jays, who will be in the light blue today, and will head from right to left. Lisa Logan trapped for a moment, gets it off to Clay, dribbles to the right wing. Up top, they're looking for John down low. Couldn't find her. Out to Wyrick. Now John at the free throw line. Takes a dribble into the lane, and she traveled. Some good defense there by Jayla Johnson, who's going to have her hands full with the 6'3" freshman forward from Cypress, Texas. That is one of the tallest players we've seen come through the CCIW in recent years. Now North Park in the dark blue or the black, depending on which way you look at it, as a scoop layup no good by Zander, easily rebounded by the Blue Jays. Here comes Logan in transition. Jumper near side from O'Donnell, misses the mark, but John with the offensive board, fighting for it, and then she turned it over. Jayla Johnson comes away with it, and again, good defense by Johnson on John. And again, that's not going to be the easiest assignment in the world. So far this season, John, 6.3 points, 4.3 boards per game. Just a freshman trying to feel her way into CCIW play. At the top, that's Malloy driving on Logan, and she dribbled it right off her foot, out of bounds. It'll be Elmhurst basketball, just about a minute into today's contest between the Blue Jays and Vikings. Wyrich brings it up the floor. Dishes far side, that's O'Donnell. They look to go down low to Jean. Good look, and a great pass over the tab by O'Donnell will send Jean to the free throw line. Shanoid Malloy with the foul. It's her first. Jean gets a couple of free throws, nails the first one, and that's our first point of today's game. The Blue Jays coming in losers of 3 in a row, however, having played number 8 University of Chicago and number 14 Illinois Wesleyan. And tough losses for the Blue Jays there as Jean knocks down the second one. It's 2-0 Blue Jays. Then a loss at Carthage, which was one of the tougher losses for the Blue Jays so far this year. Just really struggled shooting the ball. Carthage is able to come away with a double-digit victory. So the Blue Jays trying to recover from a trio of losses by double figures with a win today against North Park. Jayla Johnson drives, almost lost it, and does eventually lose it out of bounds to the Blue Jays. Kelly Wyrich will bring the ball up the floor for Elmhurst. Wyrich so far this year, 3.1 assists per game. That leads the team. Dribbling into the lane. That's Clay. Stopped. Now Wyrich pops a 3 off back iron. And the rebound brought down by Malloy. Check that. That's Newsom. Then there's Malloy. Newsom near wing, driving on Logan. Logan, good defensive position, but she was moving. And so it's going to be a foul on Lisa Logan. It'll be her first. Logan and Clay, as we mentioned in the open, both 5'7" guards. Both seniors as well from Mattia Valley High School. So they've been playing together for a while. Newsom had an open look, passed it up. North Park with a fresh 30. That's Alba Gardner at the top. Now she will take a 3, and she nails it. Lauren Alba Gardner for 3 gives North Park its first lead of the game. Wyrich, I think she thought about a shot initially and then tried to get it to Jean, and it's out of bounds off of Malloy. So they try the screen and roll there, and on the switch. That could be a nice play for the Blue Jays if they can run it consistently and effectively. Because if North Park is going to switch those screens, almost a 5-second violation. Wyrich drives into the lane, left-handed layup just a little short, and then Wyrich keeps it alive, but it's into the arms of Gardner. Gardner has Newsom to her right, got to look up, there she is. Newsom, quick kick, Malloy, top of the key 3, misses short, and Logan grabs the rebound off the bounce. Logan, spin move in the lane, floater's good for Lisa Logan. Nice move by Lisa Logan going coast to coast. How about that spin move? And then the presence of mind to be able to finish. Newsom, tough drive into the lane, and have a foul called here. Be Wyrick's first, the team's second. First free throw good for Newsome, and our first substitutions of the game. Maybe Sophia Lahaki checks in, and along with Angelina Villison. Off the miss, John tracks down the rebound, looking for some help, and finds it in Wyrick. Logan drives in, and the pass is stolen by Malloy. Here comes Malloy near baseline, guarded by Clay in transition. Good defense by the Blue Jays to get back. Viason checks it off to Malloy, now back up top. Viason looking for an opening just inside the three-point line, knocks it down. Angelina Villison averages 6.2 points per game and 2 assists per contest. Knocks down that one. Wyrick got a step. Passes off to Jean. Johnson trying to guard her. Jean can't quite finish, and Johnson saves it, but right to a Blue Jay. Logan back down low to Jean, and they doubled her, but there was a reach. I think it's going to be Malloy, not Johnson. It is. And for Shanoid Malloy, that's her second already. And she's going to have to head out. A couple of substitutions for the Blue Jays, their first of the game to this point. A couple of screens set up Wyrick, and she just misses, and the rebound to the new North Park player. Josie Somerville checks in. Somerville has some size as well down low. It's like 6 feet tall as she bullies her way into the lane and gets a layup to go. 8-4 the lead for North Park. Just about halfway through the first quarter. Wyrick again driving in, again left-handed, again left it short, but the rebound for O'Donnell. She tries to force it up and misses. Brought down by Urso. She's in trouble, and it's eventually knocked out of bounds off of Urso. It'll be North Park basketball. Urso on the floor, that's a new player for the Blue Jays, and then Lauren Goff as well. And one more sub coming in for North Park. That's Kayla Patterson checking in for the first time. She relieves Newsome. A little soft pressure by the Blue Jays here, and now they're going to double team the ball, trying to get the turnover, and it does get stripped away. Ball's on the floor, diving for it is Wyrick. Nicely done. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to stay with North Park. Good hustle there by the Blue Jays, and a little trap defense trying to speed up the Vikings a little bit. The ball stays with North Park. 16 to shoot, and Garner's back in for North Park. Mentioned Somerville, 3.6 points, 4.2 boards per game, a 6-foot freshman out of Georgia. So we could see spinning into the lane, that is a travel. And they'll turn it over back to the Blue Jays. So we'll see if we'll get the 6-foot-plus freshmen against each other, Jean and Somerville. We haven't seen it yet. Jean on the bench at the moment. Perhaps we could see it later. Looking for the pick and roll. O'Donnell was maybe open for a split second, but it would have been a pretty tough pass. Now a tough runner, no good, and rebound pulled down by Somerville. Needs some help and gets it in Garner. Villison near side, trying to drive to the right, behind the back dribble to the left, finds an opening, scoops it up, no good, and O'Donnell pulls down the board. O'Donnell's going to have a tough task with Somerville, and Somerville vice versa as well. O'Donnell, nice pump fake, but Somerville stayed down. Driving into the lane, a floater by Urso, no good, out of bounds off O'Donnell. Becca Gerke checks in for the first time for Elmhurst, along with Elena Cabrera. So we've seen a lot of players on both sides, both teams. Quick 3 rebounds for O'Donnell, although she's 0 of 2 from the floor. 3 rebounds in 6 minutes. She's done a good job down low for Elmhurst so far. Now trapped in the corner and looked like a double dribble. I didn't see the ball get knocked away, but no call made, and it ends up in 2 points for Jayla Johnson. somehow able to, must have gotten the ball knocked away from her. And hard to see from up here. Certainly the officials had a better look, but that's not what the Elmhurst bench saw, I'll tell you that much. Dribbling to the right, looking for Gerke, pass deflected and intercepted by Somerville. Back up the other way come the Vikings, leading by 6. Dribble drive towards the baseline, good cutoff defensively by Wyrick. Somerville setting the screen. Willison in all sorts of trouble. Now finds Gardner with 10 to shoot. Gardner dribbles it off her foot. Diving on the floor is Wyrick again. Second time she's been able to induce a jump ball. This time it will go to Elmhurst. Good hustle by number 23 in light blue. 5.6 points per game. She's a 5'4" guard from Arlington Heights. Averages 3.1 assists per game. She'll get a steal there. She's got 7 now on the season. Elmhurst's first 8+ games of the year. Urso kicks near side. That's Goff. Actually, I'm going to correct that. I think it was Goff who was in on that last scrum and will get the steal instead. Kayla Patterson charged with the foul, her first personal. Back in Newsom. She'll replace Patterson. Mia Reese to inbound. Second unit on the floor for Elmhurst. That's Cabrera dishing to Gerke. Gerke had her pass deflected, but it stays with the Blue Jays. Lots of time to shoot here. Cabrera looking for Gerke. Ball is loose. Newsom dives for it, and she was on the sideline when she touched the ball. It'll stay with Elmhurst. Tough place to inbound here just on this side. And timeout will be taken by Elmhurst. Just a 30-second timeout. Tethny Carrillo and the Blue Jays come in 3-5 on the year and 0-2 in the conference. Losses to Illinois Wesleyan and then at Carthage. And Illinois Wesleyan, the game was tight for much of the contest. That's the top 15 team in the country. But then Illinois Wesleyan really asserted themselves in the second half on their way to pulling away for the victory. And these two teams have seen each other, although they haven't played each other. The Blue Jays played at the North Park tournament in November. That was the first tournament North Park hosted. Remember, North Park is only their second road game of the year. Played 9 games. This is their 10th game and only their second road game. Out of the timeout, inbounding on the near side will be Goff. Got a wide open target, that's Urso. Urso off the screen from Gerke, hands off, and a tough right-handed floater, no good, but tracking down her own rebound was Reese. Now a three-pointer far side, off back iron, and another offensive rebound for the Blue Jays. This time Urso tracks it down. Urso gets fouled on a reach by Gardner. It'll be her first. That's the team's 4th. Blue Jays have had some trouble finding who's going to be the scorer that you go to on this team. Nobody averaging double figures for the Blue Jays. Leader is Kelly Clay with 8.6 per game. And Cabrera knocks down the 3 from the far side. Good play off the inbounds. And Cabrera brings the Blue Jays within 3, and then the ball is dribbled right off the foot of Somerville, and it's a 2-on-1 for Elmhurst. Dish to Cabrera. Cabrera layup, no good. Got a little caught under the backboard there. And now back in transition come the Vikings. Up and down the floor. Willison trying to use a move into the lane. Up and under, can't do it. Out of bounds off of her. And it'll go over to Elmhurst. Cabrera, not one of the top 3 three-point shooters on the team, but she's able to hit one here, and now she's got a look, but instead drives into the lane. Tough floater, no good. Rebound brought down by Johnson, and again, it seems like nothing coming easy on the offensive end for either team. Both defenses playing well, and then Gerke got a little too much of Newsom on her way by. And that'll be Gerke's first foul, team's 3rd. Garner back in, replaces Villison. Johnson, hands off. Newsome with a head of steam. Cut off this time by Urso. Ball off the fingertips of Garner, but she is able to track it down. Lots of time to shoot for the Vikings. Try the screen, and she traveled, did Garner. She thought for that extra split second and couldn't keep the pivot foot down. Now North Park will apply a little pressure. Let's see if it's tough pressure or soft pressure here. Got to get the ball in first, and eventually they do, and Urso on a tough pass from Goff, and then Goff was left open, and she'll bring it up the court. Up to the top, Urso fires a three, good. Melissa Urso for three, and that ties the game at 10 with a minute to go here in the first quarter. Driving into the lane, that's Zander, got cut off. And then a bump foul on the baseline. And if this is Gerke, that's her second. It is Gerke, and it is her second. Team's fourth, so both teams with next foul would be in the bonus. O'Donnell wants back in, and Gerke will head to the bench with her two fouls. Kelly, Clay, we mentioned no Blue Jay averaging double figures this year. 8.6 from Clay, 7.8 from Logan. Logan has 2 points today. Clay has yet to score. Shot clock turned off, so North Park will take the final shot of the half here. At least that's the intention. Zander sets the screen. Garner almost lost the right-handed dribble. Looking for some help, and it's stolen away by the Blue Jays. 3 seconds left, and Urso just has a heave that lands as the buzzer sounds, and we'll head to the second quarter with the game tied at 10. Elmhurst and North Park. North Park really trying to assert themselves near the top of the CCIW today with a win. 2-1 in the conference so far. North Park, as I mentioned, beat North Central on the road last Saturday. Other North Park win came against Milliken. That one was at home, one of their first 8 home games to start the year. The loss was to Wheaton, and it was a rough one for North Park. 81-32 was the final at home for North Park against the Wheaton Thunder. Wheaton Thunder, of course, one of the top teams in the conference year in, year out, so not totally surprising. North Park really trying to get themselves to that point under head coach Amanda Crockett, who's in her 10th year. And they've had 10-plus wins overall in each of the last 5 seasons, which was something that was not normal at North Park. And now coming back into this year already with 5 in their first 9 games, see if the Vikings can continue that trend. Well, I mentioned Wheaton, one of the top in the conference regularly. Well, Wheaton is sitting at 2-0, just a half game behind Illinois Wesleyan, who is at 3-0 and a top CCIW this year. And then third place, North Park, right there, 2-1. Elmhurst, the only team in the CCIW winless so far, trying to get its first win of the conference slate today, sitting at 3-5 overall. Victory Blue Jay hanging out. He's got the custom-made shirt on. I wonder if I can get me one of those. The Tanaka on the back. We'll see. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside. 10-10 heading into the second quarter. Elmhurst, it'll be the 5 starters on the floor. Clay, Logan, John, Wyrick, and O'Donnell. The North Park ball out of bounds to start the second quarter. Looks like it's the starters as well, except Jackie Rapp has checked in from Malloy. So otherwise, Newsome, Zander, Garner, and Johnson on the floor for North Park. Zander kicks Newsome out to Garner on the right wing. Now 10 to shoot for Garner. Wyrick picks her up. Newsome for 3, has a look, a little short. Good box out by Logan, who tracks down the board. Lisa Logan, one of the top rebounding players on this team. In fact, the top rebounding player on this team, despite being 5'7". That's something that you've come to expect from the hustling Lisa Logan. John has post position. They're trying to get it to her. Now she lost it, trying to get it back. Wyrick denies the screen, finds Logan with 10 to shoot. O'Donnell from the free throw line driving in, and before the shot, although she did bank it in, foul is on the floor, and it'll be charged to Zander, her first and the team's first of the second quarter. Lahaki back in, replacing Zander. Clay to inbound, has yet to score today despite leading the team with 8.6 points per game. See if they try to get her going offensively. They've really been going down low to John, and she gets hacked. Oh, but she's going to be called for the travel before the foul. Johnson with the solid defense again, keeping her hands up. Helps John up off the floor after the travel. Another turnover for John, who's had some trouble in that category today. She's hit her 2 free throws for 2 points, but she's turned it over 3 times. No points here in the second quarter so far. Trying to change that Garner for 3, and she nails it. Second three-pointer of the day for Lauren Alba Garner. Leads all players with 6 points and gives North Park the lead 13-10. North Park led at 1 point by 6, but a pair of three-pointers brought the Blue Jays back into a tie 10-10. Now Clay for 3. No good, back iron. Rebound pulled down by Lahaki. Pass a little behind Zander, but she tracks it down. Zander to Alba Gardner. Goes up, and just not quite. Couldn't quite get the friendly roll, but she will go to the free throw line for 2. And Kelly Clay is charged with her first foul. It's the team's first as well. Garner, one of the top three-point shooters on this North Park team, and it showed so far today. 36% for the season. She's 2 of 2 today and 1 of 1 from the free throw line, so she's seen nothing but net today. And of course, the announcer's curse gives the rebound to Jean, as it always does. Clay, crossover dribble, ran out of space. Wyrick gets a step, drives into the lane, and it's going to be a block. Trying to take the charge was Johnson. And I think they're going to get, instead it's going to be Lahaki who they're going to call on a arm grab. And Wyrick will shoot 2. It's the first one. That's her first point of the day. Urso back in, replacing Clay. It's a tough go of it so far. Goff as well back in. She replaces O'Donnell. So a little bit of a smaller lineup for Elmhurst here. Just John down low along with 4 guards. Second free throw is good. Elmhurst converting at the free throw line, something that they're going to have to do. Their offensive struggles so far this year, only averaging 57 points per game. And shooting just 23% from 3 makes every one of those free throws all the more important. Garner splits the D. Floater over Jean is good. And Lauren Alba Gardner's having herself a heck of a half. That's 9 points. That's above her season average for the year, 8.4. She's got it here in the first 13 minutes of today's game. Wyrick, good dish for Urso for 3. No good. Rebound. Newsom fought for it with Logan, and Newsom ended up with it. Bounce pass Zander in transition from Gardner. Count it, and I think we're going to get a foul as well on the play. It's going to be Lauren Goff's first, and it's going to be an and 1 for Zander. Third foul on the team here in the second quarter. And the free throw is good as well for Zander, who finishes off the three-point play and extends a 7-point lead for North Park, its largest lead of the contest. Skip past Logan. Now a three-pointer good by Goff. Lauren Goff nails a 3. Elmhurst 3 of 7 from downtown. There's Goff's first attempt of the day, and it goes down. That helps cut into the deficit, and a foul before the nice pass by Gardner. That's going to be Lisa Logan's second. Now that is actually the team's third. So correction on that. That's on my end. Alba Gardner in the near corner gets the inbounds pass. Now tries to drive baseline around John. Bounce pass is kicked. This time by Wyrick. Inbounding far side baseline will be the Vikings. Zander has it. Newsom, and the pass was right at her feet. Zander says, my bad. She may have got caught between wanting to do a bounce pass or a chest pass, and instead threw it right in between. Right at the feet of Newsom, and it went out of bounds. Blue Jays basketball. Wyrick kicks Goff. Goff driving with the left hand and scoops it up and in. Lauren Goff giving the Blue Jays a little spark on offense here in the second quarter. Pulls Elmhurst within 2, 17-19. Newsom, there's Johnson down to the floor. Offensive foul on Johnson. Wyrick takes the charge. First foul on Johnson. The third on the team. Lahaki checks out. Villison back in for North Park. Elmhurst trying to get a basket to either tie or a three to retake the lead, but not with that pass. Trying to find John, picked off by North Park in transition. Villison trying to drive on Urso. Good defense by the Blue Jay. Garner, and they switch to it, does Elmhurst. They switch again. Villison, wild off balance jumper, no good. And out in transition, here comes Goff. Goff, left-handed dribble. Urso for three, left wing, good. Marissa Urso for three. And a timeout called by Amanda Crockett, a 30-second timeout as Elmhurst takes its first lead of the contest. Correction, the second lead. Last time was very early. They've only led for 9% of today's game. Most of the lead has been held by North Park, and a 30-second timeout with 5:34 to go here in the second quarter, with the Blue Jays leading 20-19. Some leaders so far today. Marissa Urso just knocked down her second three. She's 2 of 3 from beyond the arc with a team-high 6 points. And then we mentioned earlier the success scoring of Laura Alba Gardner. 9 points, 3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from three-point range. And her average on the season just 8.4. And on the opposing side, Urso's average is 4.9. She's got 6. So both of those players are surpassing the team's average and their average for the season. Villison in trouble. She's trapped and then throws it off of one of the defenders. It was Goff. Good defense and pressure there by Elmhurst forcing that. Still 6 seconds to get it across. Villison near side, guarded by Urso. Johnson, nice move around John. She's got 4 points so far today. Somebody's got to help the inbounder, Wyrick, and a 5-second call. Wyrick went in to inbound, but she's normally the one who brings the ball up the floor, so everybody else assumed that she was going to bring the ball up, and it's really a turnover. That's just mental there for the Blue Jays. Those are things you don't want in a game that most likely is going to come down to the wire. Villison, nice defense by Urso. I'd give her a block there. As the ball goes out of bounds. She stayed right in front, no foul call, and I think that was a great no call. Newsom Tracks open. Wyrick gets a hand on the pass, but Newsom gets around 2 players, and she traveled. That's the reason why she got around both players. I think she tried to pull off the Euro step. Just one too many feet on the ground there. Urso looking for Jean, couldn't find her. Wyrick is wide open for 3 instead. Dishes to Jean down low, and Wyrick's gonna be called for the offensive foul. Wyrick charging in, called for the offensive foul before the shot by Jean. That is Wyrick's second personal. She's gonna have to come out, I assume, here, as Jean as well. O'Donnell comes in for Jean. And then Zeri Miller, the freshman from Sacramento, checks in for the first time. She replaces Wyrick in those 2 personal fouls. Dish is stolen by Goff. A lot of traffic there down low. Urso has had a good job, done it well offensively today. This time her pass goes off the leg of Xander and out of bounds. And it'll stay with Elmhurst. That was Cabrera out to Goff at the top. Urso thought about another 3 instead, into the lane, and she gets fouled by Garner. And that will be her second foul. Something to watch for North Park. Garner, the leading scorer in the game so far with 9 points, and I think she's gonna have to come off the floor here. Should be 2 shots for Urso. 5'4" sophomore guard out of St. Charles East High School, already surpassing her season average of 5.4 points per game. That is her 7th of today's game. Garner does indeed have to head to the bench. Kayla Patterson subs in for her. Urso's second free throw is good as well. Blue Jays solid from the line so far today, 6 of 6. Newsom in trouble, dribbles right out of the dangerous area. Villison tracking the sideline. Good look for Jayla Johnson, who puts it in. Real good pass by Villison there. Urso thought about taking the jumper, instead dishes Goff near side. Back to Urso, now Cabrera. Looking for a screen from O'Donnell, then trying to find her off the screen and roll, and a foul. I think it was Xander. That is her second personal. A lot of players with 2 personal fouls. For Elmhurst, Lisa Logan, Kelly Wyrick, Becca Gerke all with 2. For North Park, Lauren Alba Gardner. Sini Malloy, who we haven't seen. Malloy has been on the bench for much of the game. O'Donnell's first free throw off the mark. That's the first miss for Elmhurst so far today. And then Maddie Xander just picked up her second personal. O'Donnell able to convert on the second one. That's her first point of the day. Elmhurst continuing with the pressure, trying to find ways to trap, but Villison's too fast for the trap until eventually he catches up with her. And now Newsom swinging the ball around open for 3. Misses off back iron. Rebound picked up by Patterson. And then a foul. I think that's Goff. It would be her second. And it is. And now North Park is in the bonus. Goff's going to have to head to the bench, but it will be after the first free throw. 2 shots for Patterson, and North Park will be shooting 2 the rest of the way here in the first half. First one misses. Kelly Clay back in, still awaiting her first point. Been one of the better free throw shooters for the Blue Jays today, but hasn't had an attempt from the line so far. Patterson again off the mark, misses both. Here comes Urso up the floor with a head of steam. Here's Clay. Looking down low to O'Donnell. She was double teamed quickly, and then the pass stolen away by Newsom. O'Donnell trying to avoid the jump ball or a travel. Gave it right to Newsom. Villison, nice drive. Trying to get enough space under the basket. Couldn't. O'Donnell and Villison, excuse me, with the arms intertwined. O'Donnell ends up on the floor, and I think Villison will end up with the foul, and it'll be 2 shots for O'Donnell on the other end. First personal foul on Villison so far today. And O'Donnell will head to the free throw line. O'Donnell 1 of 2 on the day today. Team leading 4 rebounds so far. Elmhurst on top 24-23. Second free throw good as well. Newsom brings it up the floor. Here comes the trap. They try to pass out of it, and the ball goes off the hands of Patterson into Urso. Urso has a couple of targets, including Cabrera on her right. Instead finds Miller. Pass down low to Clay. She wasn't looking for it. And then Clay will get called for the foul. And Villison will go shoot. Second foul on Clay joins the multitude of players so far today with 2 personal fouls. Angelina Villison, 6.2 points per game, 2.0 assists per contest. Misses the first one. Just a 44% free throw shooter on the year, and it shows as she misses both. Dribbling up the floor, Cabrera all the way coast to coast, and then a foul. It's the first foul on Alicia Panthier. And Cabrera will go to the free throw line. It's just a good individual effort by Cabrera up and down the floor. Cabrera has 4 points so far, and again, it's another player stepping up for Elmhurst. Surpassing the season average. Cabrera just 1.3 points per game so far this year. Cabrera had only scored 10 points coming into today's contest. In the Blue Jays' first 8 games, she's got 4 today. As Elmhurst leads 26-23 with just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Dribbling around, Villison runs into somebody, and it's going to be a turnover as a possession error will give it to Elmhurst. A lot of dribbling going on there, and eventually ends up in a turnover. 3-point lead for Elmhurst, 2 minutes to go in the first half. Cabrera dribbles and gets cut off. Now dribbling again, had an open look, passed it up. Urso down low to O'Donnell, and she gets her way into the paint and knocks in a pair. 5 points for Courtney O'Donnell, and this is the largest lead of the game for Elmhurst, 28-23. Newsom slips on the floor, and then a bunch of Blue Jays come in, and another jump ball. This time it'll stay with the Vikings. Somerville and Lahaki back in for North Park. We'll take the ball out of bounds right in front of the Elmhurst coaching staff. Lahaki gets it right back to Newsom, who is unguarded, and then her pass towards Somerville is way off the mark. Good hustle by Patterson, running up the bleachers on the near side, but she's unable to save it. Elmhurst with a chance to extend its lead. Urso will bring the ball up the floor. She's had a solid game for Elmhurst so far with a team-high 8 points. Urso calling out the play. Mia Reese gets fouled. It's going to be Patterson second, joining the plethora now of players in with 2 fouls. And Reese at the line for 2. Misses the first one. That's only the third free throw attempt of the season for Reese, and she's made one of them. Fourth attempt of the year. Hits a couple of things, but is able to drop. Reese's first point of the game. Just over a minute to play. North Park now trailing by a game-high 6. Good defense on the near side by Cabrera, hounding Newsome. Now well away from the basket. Blue Jays applying lots of pressure defensively. Newsome almost traveled, and then the ball is taken away ever so briefly by Elmhurst. Ball is still on the deck, and a whistle. 2 players on the floor. I'm not sure who's going to get called for it. I think it's going to be Elmhurst and Courtney O'Donnell. It'll be her first. North Park well over the bonus, and Jackie Rapp will head to the free throw line looking for her first point of the day. Rapp just 3 of 12 from the line this season. Misses the first one. And that's one thing the Blue Jays can really take advantage of. Free throw shooting. North Park coming in shooting just 56% for the year. Elmhurst on the other hand shooting 65, but shooting pretty well today. Both free throws missed. Elmhurst back up the floor looking to go 2 for 1. All the way to the basket and rejected by Somerville was Reese. Newsome back up the other way. Newsome gets fouled on a block by Urso. And Urso will be charged with her first. A lot of fouls in today's game. That is our 24th foul of the contest here only in the first half. At the line, Newsome knocks in the first one. 2 points on the day for Zakiah Newsome. Elmhurst on a 7-2 run at the moment as Newsome knocks in the second one. That stops a 7-0 run by the Blue Jays and makes it a 4-point advantage for Elmhurst, 29-25. Still a chance to go 2 for 1 if the Blue Jays want it. But I think more importantly, Tedney Carrillo wants a good shot here on this possession. And that's a good look by Urso to O'Donnell, who banks it home. Really beautiful look. Check out this pass by Urso right there. A nice cut by O'Donnell. Elmhurst lead back up to 6. And a chance for one shot for North Park. Urso will guard all the way on the beak of the Blue Jay in the middle of the court. Newsome dribbling around, still dribbling with 10. Now goes to the basket with 5 and hits the deck. And I think Urso will pick up her second. She will indeed. That is 6 Blue Jays with 2 personal fouls. 4 for North Park. 13th foul of the game charged to Elmhurst. I believe 9 of those have come here in this second quarter. Newsome hits the first free throw to make it a 5-point game. So 6.4, certainly a chance for Elmhurst to get a shot off here, and perhaps a good shot. Newsome hits the second one as well. Miller brings the ball up the floor with 3. Long attempt. Ooh, just off the back iron. That one by Greina. And that will take us to halftime. 31-27, the lead for Elmhurst as we head to the break. We'll be back with the second half in about 15 minutes on Blue Jay TV.
Education is kind of in my family. My dad's a principal, and so I've seen that lifestyle, and I wanted to further education of students, and I really enjoy kids. And so that being said, I wanted to be a teacher and then coach as well. The elementary education program is very rigorous. You get out in the field, you have field experience, starting your sophomore year. So your sophomore through senior year, you're always in the field learning. I think that's just like a huge advantage here at Elmhurst College to have you out in the field early, just because you have such almost like a leg up on everyone else that is going into that major as well, just because you're out there, and it takes 3 or 4 years to realize what the system of a school is. We're in schools all the time as students, but not necessarily as teachers. So it's a different point of view to see the whole school atmosphere. The professors, they're really great. They always email you right back, even in the evenings if you have questions on assignments and papers. The ratio in the class is there's 12 or 13 students per professor in a class period in the elementary education program. And so with that being said, you're not a number, you're a name. And that's something that I really, really like, and it definitely prepares you. They always push you in the classroom, they always push you on the court, off the court. Our coaches push us to do other things besides sports and our major, to get out in the community. And with all that being said, it's kind of a resume builder, and so that's how it pushes us to become more prepared for the real world. Our basketball team actually has weekly meetings in the fall with the Center for Professional Excellence, so they help us build resumes and help us, get our name out to people and businesses for internships and jobs and all that. I know that when the time comes, I feel like I'm going to be prepared just through the education that Elmhurst has provided and the skills that I've learned as well through sports and our studies.
Coming here as a Division III player, you're coming here to get your degree. We have some players that go on to be professional athletes. They've gone overseas, but that's not the norm. Our players are coming, they're finishing their playing careers here. And so whenever they're done, they're being prepared in something else other than just basketball. So for us, that's the student-athlete model. You come in, you're working hard. Our players put in as much time as a Division I player does, but it's because they want to be there. I know that from motivating our players, if they're coming to practice, I know that they're working hard because it's out of them, not just because we've got a dollar sign, they have to do it, this is how they have to stay in school. They don't have to be there. They're there because they're motivated to, they want to be a good team, they want to be a good player, and there's something that's special about that experience to me, coaching that player.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
As you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
there are all these people and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence,
community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Elmhurst College is much more than buildings, courses, and credits. It's a supportive community of individuals who are committed to helping you reach your full potential. But don't take my word for it.
I visited a lot of schools, but when I came here, it was just I'm home.
As soon as I walked on campus, I felt like I could dive right in and get involved.
Getting involved is easy, especially in class. The average class here has just 17 students.
Every faculty and staff here just wants me to succeed.
I can go up to them and it's not just office hours. I'm here from 10:30 to 11:30. It's actually whenever you need help, my door's open.
There's a real connection that takes place. I'm frequently asked, what do I teach? I never say music. I teach people. Music's the vehicle.
It was great to see that rather than just teaching textbook material, they're actually giving you some industry insight.
I'm a vocalist. I'm out in the clubs performing. I'm touring in Europe and performing. So they see how their life can transition into that.
A lot of my friends from other universities, they don't get to be a part of undergraduate research, professional development at such an early stage.
They're truly there to help you and to build you and to make sure that you are amazing.
And at Elmhurst, you can be amazing all around, including on the field. Football is just one of 20 Division III sports.
We went straight to the Final Four of the nation, and that was a great way to come in and start off the season.
They're there because they're motivated to, they want to be a good team, they want to be a good player.
Wrestling wasn't my life. I was able to go out and do a lot of different activities and get involved on campus.
We are allowed to be students, and we can be involved in a lot of other things.
How do you want to get involved? You'll have your choice at Elmhurst.
Our campus has over 100 clubs and organizations.
Whatever you want to do, there's something here for you to do.
Concert choir, the wind ensemble, gospel choir,
Habitat for Humanity, Global Poverty Club.
I'm an orientation student leader,
SGA,
Best Buddies.
Greek life at Elmhurst College is really focused on leadership and discovering who you really are.
To be part of all these different organizations and get to know all these amazing people is why I love Elmhurst.
You can also get to know the world beyond the campus. Elmhurst offers study abroad opportunities in 44 countries.
I studied abroad in Granada,
Holland, Germany, El Salvador, Israel and Palestine, Costa Rica, Czech Republic.
Back at home, you'll enjoy all the advantages of our great location. Downtown Elmhurst is just a short walk from campus, And the Metro train will take you to the world-class city of Chicago in just 30 minutes. When it comes to career preparation, we've got you covered. Elmhurst will connect you with the people and the experiences you need to reach your full potential.
Elmhurst allows you to grow into the knowing, and I appreciate that there's a journey that we encourage. It's not just in one program or one department, it's threaded throughout everything that we do.
Elmhurst College pushes you to truly find who you are as a person and as a professional.
They will make sure, no matter what your interests are, what your career path is, that there's going to be a resource on campus that is going to help you find that potential and then reach it.
If I had to say why Elmhurst would be the best option for nursing education, I would say because you don't have to be big to be the best. We have all of the student services, we have all the educational services, the excellent curriculum and faculty, so we're not big, but we are the best. We have a state-of-the-art simulation center, and I have seen many sim centers across the nation, and this one is truly, truly remarkable.
The professors there encourage us to make mistakes because it is simulation, and they want us to learn from our mistakes.
Going to the sim lab that's actually in Elmhurst Memorial Hospital, it's really, really cool. The facility is amazing, it's brand new.
What the simulation center consists of are mannequins, but these aren't just mannequins like you've seen before where you do CPR. Our mannequins talk to you. Our mannequins birth babies. Our mannequins cry. If you don't do what you need to do as a nurse to our mannequins, they will die. So what we do is actually simulate experiences in real life that you will see as a nurse, and you get to make mistakes without hurting people.
At any school you can learn the skills, but I feel like at Elmhurst, the faculty and staff are encouraging us to do more.
They're always passionate about what they do, and I think that's very important. One of my professors said, you don't just want to be a good nurse, you want to be the best nurse.
We do have many partners in the community at Elmhurst College, and basically we have to. We rely on our community partners to provide that clinical education piece. So while we are there with our students, side by side, teaching them, we couldn't do it if we didn't have the clinical partners. I think our faculty are our gems here. When you come to Elmhurst for nursing education, you will receive your education from clinical specialists. You can be good as a clinician, but that doesn't make you a good educator. We need excellent educators to be able to translate that theory into practice for our nursing students.
I got on the floor, and after a few weeks working with my clinical instructor and working with my classmates and collaborating, it really has provided me with a safe space to, talk to my instructor, talk to my other peers, and really work together to build my confidence and competency as a future nurse.
I feel like they are preparing me well, and I have no doubt that in a short year and a half that I'll be ready to go out into the world and be a nurse helping patients.
Our students are working everywhere. We have students working in schools, hospitals, and in community health settings. So our students are really everywhere. We don't just teach, we change lives.
Back at R.A. Fagnall Hall here on the campus of Elmhurst College, EC women's basketball taking place here at R.A. Fagnall Hall today. Luke Tanaka with you. Glad to have you alongside for this edition of Elmhurst women's basketball on Blue Jay TV. The Blue Jays leading it 31-27 as we head to the second half, and some of the key statistics from that first half, free throws for sure favoring the Blue Jays, 11 of 14 from the line. Despite the Blue Jays shooting just 32% from the field, 8 of 25. And North Park shooting 53% from the field, 9 of 17 for the game. Elmhurst has been able to get points off turnovers, 15 points off of 14 North Park giveaways, and they've converted at the free throw line. As I mentioned, 11 of 14 so far today. 3 of those makes coming from Courtney O'Donnell, and then a whole bunch with 2 and a whole bunch with 1, able to help this Blue Jay team get going offensively in the first half. 31-27 the score. Lauren Alba Gardner, the leading scorer in the contest, 3 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 from three-point range for 9 points. Also hit 1 free throw. Zakiah Newsom has 5 points, all at the free throw line. He's made 5 of North Park's 7 free throws, but 4 turnovers have been costly for her, and 3 turnovers for Alba Gardner as well have made it tough for North Park so far. Elmhurst also seeing contributions from many players off the bench. 18 bench points, including the leading scorer, Marissa Urso, who has the ball here on the right wing with 8 points. Urso's had a good offensive day, already well above her season average. Kelly Wyrick back in, and some of the reason why Urso's seen so many looks is because of the foul trouble, as there's another whistle. Shenoid Malloy just picked up her 3rd personal. She only played 4 minutes of the first half because she picked up 2 quick personal fouls. And now she's going to have to head to the bench again. Angelina Velastin checks in for her. And another foul. 2 quick fouls on the Vikings here in the first 15 seconds. And Velastin, who just checked in. And that's her 2nd personal. And now Wyrick with the ball at the top. Finds Urso, who's open for 3. No good. Back iron rebound brought down by Newsom. A little heat check for Urso there out of a halftime break. And a double dribble is going to be called on Gardner. That's her 4th turnover of the game. We'll see if Elmhurst can turn this into points. Kelly Wyrick averaging 5.6 points, but she averages 3.1 assists, which leads the team so far today for Wyrick in those categories. 1 assist and 2 points. She had to spend some time on the bench as well with her 2 fouls. Many players with 2 fouls in this contest. Goff kicks Urso with 7 to shoot from the free throw line. Little short. Urso comes charging in for the board, but Jayla Johnson ends up with it. And Villison back up the other way. Dishes to Johnson, a beautiful look, but Johnson couldn't finish the layup, but it'll stay with North Park as it goes out of bounds. What a gorgeous pass by Angelina Villison there. Just a great pass, the junior from Arlington Heights. Gardner drives right past everybody and then gets fouled at the rim. Kelly Wyrick gets her 3rd personal foul. So both teams with a starter with 3, and Gardner heads to the line. She's 1 of 2 so far today, and that one looks smooth. First player to reach double figures. 10 points for Gardner. They're going to leave Wyrick on the floor with her 3 fouls. We'll see what happens there. If they, perhaps North Park will try to go right at Wyrick, get her try to pick up a cheap 4th. Urso isn't bringing the ball up the floor. Wyrick had that job early in the game. Looking for O'Donnell. Nice look by Clay. Beautiful pass. Kelly Clay to Courtney O'Donnell, who now has a team-high 9 points for the Blue Jays. O'Donnell, the top starter in terms of scoring. 3 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Another good look by Villas, and a foul this time as Johnson went up with it. And Urso is going to be called with her 3rd personal. So that's the 2nd Blue Jay with 3 fouls today. And foul trouble is going to be something we're going to be talking about a lot. And Jayla Johnson will head to the free throw line. 6 points already today. 3 of 4 from the field. That was her first free throw attempt, and it went down. They will check Urso out of the game. Elena Cabrera checks in for her. Although Urso does come off the bench and hasn't been a scorer really throughout the season, that's still a key piece to this Blue Jay offense this afternoon. Last thing you want is her picking up a 4th. Of course, you don't want Wyrick doing it either, but you're going to take the risk with Wyrick. Urso just a sophomore. Wyrick also a sophomore, a regular starter. Cabrera pulls up just inside the 3-point line, misses. Another rebound for Zakiah Newsom. Newsom dishes. Phyllis, a nice move. Now takes a 2 and knocks it down. Really smart move to forego the 3-point shot. Instead, step inside the 3-point line and knock it down. Bounce pass from Wyrick to Clay. Clay gets trapped. Wyrick is open right behind her, but Clay doesn't see her, and she ends up traveling. 3 defenders crashed in on Kelly Clay, and Clay ends up with the turnover. Clay only played 9 minutes in that first half. I think a lot of it was because of her having 2 personal fouls. We saw a lot of minutes for the bench. 11 minutes for Cabrera, 11 minutes for Goff, and 14 minutes for Urso in that first half. A lot of depth on this Blue Jay team, and going to find a lot of different players who can contribute offensively. Without that key leading scorer, Somerville can't quite finish, and then John kept the rebound alive, and Wyrick tracked it down. Cabrera trying to drive baseline, and she carried on her way there. 33-33 tie score, North Park in Elmhurst. 7:15 to go, third quarter. Of course, now on the bench as a coach, graduate assistant Michaela Eppard, one of the top Blue Jays in program history, All-American, All-Conference player. No longer on the court, although still with the program as a coach, and she was really the go-to scorer for 3 years for the Blue Jays, and now trying to fill those shoes. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill. Gardner will go to the line. It's going to be Kelly Clay's third personal. So Clay, Urso, and Wyrick all with 3 personal fouls. Garner's first free throw is smooth. Garner 4 of 5 from the line today. Clay goes out. I think Lisa Logan checks back in for the Blue Jay. Garner with 13, a game high. 5 of them coming at the free throw line. It is Logan, and she brings the ball up the floor. Wyrick looking for Jean. Hadn't got a whole lot of looks since the early going. There she goes into the paint, and against Somerville, the 2 tall freshmen battling against each other. Somerville will charge with her first foul. She's 6-foot freshman out of Georgia. And Queen John is a 6'3" freshman out of Texas. And 2 going at each other here in the state of Illinois. And smooth on the first free throw for John, who shoots 44% for the year. Has only taken 1 shot so far today, but she does have 3 free throws. She's made all of them, and now she's made her 4th. 4 points for Jean. Goff almost able to take that one away, and then she does on the other end, but it ends up going out of bounds. Good hustle by Lauren Goff, a junior out of Sycamore. Garner on the wing, almost thought about the 3, thought about it again. Then nice dish to Somerville, who lays it in. North Park with the penetrating and the bounce pass has been very effective for them. As soon as Jean makes that commitment to go guard Garner, that leaves Somerville open. And then a nice drive by Wyrick. Kelly Wyrick with the good drive and the good finish. Left-handed. Newsom, down low Johnson. Mismatch against Logan, and the ball gets taken away as Jean came over to help. Now Logan with Cabrera, and then a foul on Newsom, and I think that's going to be her first, and it is. Lauren Goff getting ready to inbound. Looking for Wyrick initially, needs some help. There's Logan right on the beak of the Blue Jay. 37 all. Logan drives in. Scored her 2 points of the game very early. Jean has a wide open lane to the basket, hesitated for a second, and then put it in. 6 points for Jean. That's her first shot from the field that's gone down. And another good pass for Somerville. Angelina Villas in that time with the nice dish. Somerville again with the easy 2. And the teams trade baskets. Logan gets a screen from Jean, drives in and gets bumped. I think that was Somerville. It's going to be her second personal. Logan, one who hustles so much in the game, she's used to hitting the deck. She did so there. Logan misses short on the first free throw. She's the leading rebounder on the Saints team at 5'7" with 6.4 rebounds per game. Very impressive for a guard, but not surprising if you're familiar with the Elmhurst program and you're familiar with Lisa Logan. Second free throw is smooth. And we've got a 30-second timeout taken by Elmhurst. Leading 40-39, about halfway through the third quarter. These two teams have played many common opponents, and well, mainly because one of them, they played at the same tournament earlier this year out in Chicago at the North Park tournament in November. And the teams have had very similar results against those common opponents. Both teams lost to Wittenberg, and both of them were double-digit defeats. Both teams beat Defiance. The Blue Jays beat them by 13, and North Park beat Defiance by 3. And then both teams beat Aurora. Blue Jays beat Aurora by 11, and the Vikings beat Aurora by a whole bunch, 76-48. So it's hard to get a sense as to who really had the advantage in the game. We thought it would be a close game, and sure enough, here we are. 1-point game, about 15 minutes left. Blue Jays add on some pressure. Newsom has it. That's 7 seconds to get it over. Villison loses her dribble. Back to Newsom. Newsom, with only 2 seconds to get it over. That's going to be 10 seconds. 10 seconds and a great job by the Blue Jay pressure. They turn North Park over and will have another chance at the offensive possession. Logan looking for options. Here's Goff. Goff down to Jean. That's pretty far away from the basket. See if she wants to drive it. She doesn't. Cabrera looks for an opening. Off to Goff, who almost lost it. Newsom, that's Gardner being a pest. Nice job to find Cabrera to the basket. Count it, and one. Now we're actually going to get a little discussion. Yes, count the basket for Elena Cabrera. And I think there is some confusion as to who the foul was on. And honestly, I didn't see it either, so I was kind of hoping the ref saw it. It's the shooting one is Cabrera. I couldn't hear the PA announcement as to who the foul was on. So we'll check in here in a second as Jean got caught with her arms down as Johnson was driving in. And that, we know that one's on Jean. That's her first. Last foul was actually on Newsom, and it was her second. So now Johnson to the line. She'll shoot two. And she makes the first one. 9 points for Johnson. That's second on the team. Tied for second in the contest behind Garner of North Park, who has 13. Second free throw misses. Long rebound tracked down by Lisa Logan. Logan all the way to the basket. Just misses. Jean tries to keep it alive and does. Tipping it to Goff. Cabrera. Out to Wyrick. It can be Wyrick. And back to Wyrick on the near corner. Wyrick had it stripped, but was fouled on her way there. And it's either going to be Johnson or Newsom, and I think that's Newsom. It'll be her third. Second player on the Vikings with 3 personal fouls, joining Shinoid Malloy. Already in the double bonus as Wyrick misses. And Malloy will check back in with her 3 fouls, while Newsom goes out with her 3 fouls. Lahaki also back in for North Park. Wyrick makes the second one. 5 points for Kelly Wyrick out of Arlington Heights. Dangerous pass. Gardner's able to bring it down, and just does get it across. Rarely do you hear the countdown for how much time you have to get over the 10-second line, but we heard that there. Malloy is wide open and misses the layup, and sometimes that's what happens when you're used to playing many minutes in a game. She's only played 4 minutes today because she's been in foul trouble. That's certainly taken away from her rhythm. Johnson, I think, had 2 hands in the back of John. It's Johnson's second personal. It's our 37th foul of the day today, and a timeout's going to be called by North Park. Waiting word on full or 30. It will be a full timeout, so give us a little time to check out some of the statistical leaders and also go through some of the foul trouble we've seen in this game. 3 players on the Elmhurst side with 3 personal fouls. Kelly Clay, Kelly Wyrick, and Marissa Urso all have 3 personal fouls. Lisa Logan with 2, Becca Gerke with 2. We haven't seen Gerke since she picked up her second foul in the second quarter. And Lauren Goff also with 2 personal fouls. On the North Park side, all of the starters have at least 2, and 3 bench players have 2 as well. 3 personals for Malloy and Newsom. 2 fouls on Zander, Johnson, and Garner, as well as Villison, Somerville, and Patterson. All with 2 personal fouls. Blue Jays leading 43-40 here in Elmhurst, trying to get their first CCIW win of the season, currently 0-2 in the conference after losses to Illinois Wesleyan and Carthage. North Park trying to make a little run here early in the season as we head into the holiday break atop the CCIW now at 2-1. With a win would be 3-1. It would certainly assure themselves one of the top 3 spots heading into the break, and certainly a lot of conference games to be played. However, 3-1, a very good start. Jean to the free throw line. 6 points today. Very smooth on the first free throw. Now a 4-point lead for Elmhurst. Jean trying to make it 5. She does. 8 points for Jean, and I believe 6 of them, yes, 6 of them come from the free throw line. And a good job of getting to the line today. Gardner behind the back dribble. Guarded by Goff. Goff, good defensive position. Garner almost made it fall anyway, and then John nearly lost it. Was able to get it to Logan. Logan looking for Jean. Jean, a spin move to the basket, and she gets bumped. That'll send the Elmhurst bench into a frenzy. That's a 6'3" freshman with a spin move. And that's going to be Jayla Johnson's 3rd foul. 3rd starter with 3 personals. John is 6 of 6 from the line today, helping Elmhurst to a 17 of 23 clip from the free throw line. She missed the first one. Reese back in for Elmhurst, and Somerville replaces Johnson, who has 3 personals. 6-1 run for the Blue Jays to take a 5-point lead, make it 7-1. 9 points for Jean. Somerville comes back to the ball and then eventually finds Malloy near the scorer's table. Attempted a steal from Goff, guarding Gardner. Now Reese on Villison. To the basket, and Reese had a hand on her back. And that's going to be free throws. Both teams now in the bonus. Averaging 6.2 points per game is Velocid. First one good. Also averaging 2.0 assists per game, which is tied for the top on the team with Newsom. Welcome sight for North Park to see somebody go 2 of 2 from the line. That brings North Park up to 16 of 26. Excuse me, they went 1 of 2, I should say, on that one. I should say, yeah, they went 2 of 2. Yep. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound by Reese, who charges in for the board. Big offensive rebound for the Blue Jays, who led in that category 6-1 in the first half. Down low to Jean, who gets bumped, but no call. Out of bounds will favor North Park. Xander checks back in, replacing Lahaki. Garner dribbles at the top. They're going to protect her from going right, but Somerville sets a screen so she can. Jean able to maybe tip that pass just a little bit, intended for Somerville. Well high of her. Now Logan dishes back to Cabrera. She wasn't open though. Good defense by Velocin there. Now Reese, scoop, layup, well off the mark. And Somerville comes down with the board. 46-42 in favor of Elmhurst. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. This one has been tight throughout. Largest lead, 7 points for North Park in the second quarter. Xander takes a look at it. Now she'll try again as she gets her own board, and she puts it in. Had to think about it for a second, but then went straight back up with it. Smart of her to do that. She was in good position right under the rim. Goff. And a two-pointer for Reese. 3 points for Mia Reese. And some substitutions coming here. We had a whistle. I didn't see exactly what the deal was there. But we're back underway. Just over a minute to play. North Park with the basketball, trailing by 4. Trying to do it all by herself was Villison, but she bounced past it, and then a bump by somebody down low. And 2 free throws coming for the Blue Jays as they are in the bonus. It's going to be third foul on Somerville, which means both down low players, at least the top 2. Also have Alicia Panther, the junior, but we haven't seen Panther as much today, only 2 minutes played. But Somerville and Johnson, both with 3 personal fouls, and perhaps bigger than that is the free throw knocked down by Maggie Grady, her first point of the day. First time we've seen Grady. Free throw is good, and I think we might get a foul here on North Park, which would send Elmhurst to the line again. You see the player on the floor. They're going to charge another foul to Somerville, and that's her 4th. And now Lisa Logan will go to the line. And that's a big call. Logan knocks down the free throw, and Somerville has to go to the bench with 4 fouls. That brings Johnson back in, who has 3, so she's playing on thin ice as well. 45 seconds to go, third quarter. Logan makes it a 4-point possession for the Blue Jays, who now lead it by 8. That's a game-high lead for either team. Malloy gets it up ahead to Xander. Xander for Johnson, who gets bumped, count it, and the foul. 2 more for Jayla Johnson. And it's going to be Maggie Grady's first personal. She's a sophomore out of Algonquin. Johnson to the free throw line. Looking for her 12th point of the day, trying to cut the deficit to 5. She does. Good job of press breaking by the North Park offense, and then they found Xander open, and when the defense went to her, Johnson was left open under the basket. for the three-point play. Grady has the ball down low. Now a three-pointer, far wing, no good by the Blue Jays. Rebound, oh, Cabrera had it in her hands and then lost it. Here comes Malloy. Millison for two off the mark. Ball tipped around and eventually tipped out of bounds by the Blue Jays. .9 remaining on the clock. Final seconds, North Park with the last possession of the third quarter. And the ball tipped away by Reese. She grabs it and a jump ball. It'll stay with North Park with 1.4. Bethany Carrillo came charging in, but I don't think that's the time you want to use one of your 3 remaining timeouts, because even if you do get the ball with the timeout, you probably only have about 2 seconds to get it up the floor. And you might be able to advance it, but I think those timeouts are better saved for the end of this game, which should end up as a close one. Gardner has it taken away again, and another steal for the Blue Jays. That time Grady took it away from Gardner off the inbounds pass. The Blue Jays pressure defense really starting to pick up here against the Vikings as we head to the fourth quarter. Lots of foul trouble all around, but let's check out the other statistics. We'll continue to talk about that throughout the fourth quarter. Got lots of different players for Elmhurst. Nobody playing over 20, just Lauren Goff off the bench playing over 20 minutes at this point. Everybody else playing under 20 minutes, as the Blue Jays currently shooting 35% from the floor, which is well under what North Park is shooting, 50%. But the makes are pretty similar. North Park has made 14 shots today. Elmhurst has made 13 because the Blue Jays have done well on the offensive glass, and they've also forced a whole bunch of turnovers. 19, I should say, turnovers. It's actually 23 fouls, if you can believe it, on North Park today. 19 fouls on the Blue Jays, 15 turnovers committed. And Elmhurst has scored 21 points off North Park's 19 turnovers, whereas Elmhurst has been able to get back defensively pretty well off of their miscues, as North Park only has 7 points off of Elmhurst's 15 turnovers. But you got to say, the difference in the game, it's a 5-point game right now. And the difference in those 5 points is free throws. North Park has shot 27 free throws and made 17 of them. Elmhurst has shot 29 free throws and made 5 more than the Vikings. They made 22 of them. So there's your 5-point swing right there. This one, you have to imagine, is going to come down to the wire here on Teddy Bear Toss. And what else? You got ugly sweater day for the for those who felt like being in the Christmas spirit today. Blue Jays come back out with Clay, Wyrick, Lauren Goff. That's Elena Cabrera and Maggie Grady. Vikings have Malloy, Villison, Garner, Johnson, and one more, but I cannot see her number at this moment. I'll get you her in just a second. Ball inbounded. That's Xander as well on the floor for North Park. Blue Jay ball as we start the fourth quarter. 5-point lead. Kelly Clay had a tough time getting her offense going. Needs some help. Kicks out to Wyrick. That was Goff. Now this is Wyrick. Grady down low. She has a scoop layup that misses by a bunch, and Johnson pulls down the rebound. Grady tried to charge in. Johnson got a step, and the blocking foul charged. I think that's going to be Clay's 4th. 4 fouls on Kelly Clay, who's had a tough day. Just 1 assist in 13 minutes because of foul trouble. 0 of 2 from the floor, and that's the leading scorer for the Blue Jays. However, positive sign for the Blue Jays that their 2 leading scorers, who are averaging over 15 points per game, have a total of 5. But on the scoreboard, still up by 5. Jayla Johnson just hit her average, 13 points per game. She's got 13 today. Also, 4.2 boards per game, 3.2 steals per contest, and over a block. She's been very good this year, and she continues that today. North Park fans trying to get into it here early in the fourth quarter. 3-point lead for Elmhurst with the basketball. Cabrera dribbling around against Johnson. Now Clay. Guarded by Gardner, and the ball is tipped away. Up to Malloy. Malloy has Johnson in the middle, but smartly pulls it back out. Gardner stops at the elbow. Malloy again, spinning into the lane, floater, misses, rebound, pulled down by Grady and a foul. And that's going to be Johnson's fourth. So now the top two post players for North Park and post defenders as well, both with 4 personal fouls. We also have Xander out there, listed at 5'6" as a freshman, but she could do a good job of guarding in the post as well. So we'll see. She's going to be charged with it as they brought another guard on the floor in Newsom. Wyrick guarded by Malloy. Ooh, Villisa got a touch on that pass to Goff, but couldn't quite steal it. And Clay picked up her pivot foot. Another turnover for Kelly Clay. We'll see if she can come back from that, as she's actually going to head to the bench, replaced by Logan. You can tell she's a little frustrated. Not quite her day so far. Remember, there's still 8.5 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time for Kelly Clay to get going here. Crossover dribble by Xander. She goes to the rack and she scores. Maddie Xander showing off the handles. Elmhurst has been scoreless for over 2.5 minutes. North Park on a 7-0 run. And Tethny Carrillo wants a full timeout. First full, I believe, taken by Elmhurst so far today. So Elmhurst has 2 30s and a full left. North Park has I believe something along those lines. We will double check that for you. As the Blue Jays lead 52 to 51 here in the fourth quarter. As I mentioned, North Park on a 7-0 run, although they have struggled from the three-pointers, hitting just 1 of their last 4. Three-pointers has not been the reason that North Park has been successful. They've been successful because they're 15 of 30 from the field. They're shooting 50%. And some of the top players in those categories is Garner 3 for 4 from the field. Xander 3 of 5, and then Johnson 4 of 5. Somerville 3 of 4. So a lot of Viking players shooting well over the 50% mark from the field. And that's been the key for them offensively today, is it's been knocking down those shots, getting good layups, and getting some solid assist numbers as well. 7 assists for the team, led by Villison's got 3 and 2 steals, who also leads the team in that category. So she's contributed in a lot of different ways on offense despite only scoring 6 points. That one is taken away. Newsom gets the steal on the pass intended for Gerke from Urso. And Urso checks back in with her 3 fouls. She had been on the bench for a while. Under 8 minutes to play, and North Park has a chance to take their first lead with a basket. Since it was 37 to 35. Ball almost out of bounds. 7 to shoot. Looking down low, trapped under the basket. Newsom fires it up. Ooh, almost made it. That would have been quite a circus shot. Good defense by Elmhurst as they clear out with the rebound. Wyrick looking for Urso. Urso drives in. Not quite there. Now kicks to Gerke down low. 1 dribble, looking to scoop it up and in. She does. Becca Gerke, her first 2 points of the game. That's 10 Blue Jays in the scorebook today. Nice bounce pass, and Velosin finishes. On the other end, Alba Gardner with her 2nd assist. A little miscommunication there on the dribble handoff. Blue Jays lucky it wasn't a turnover. Logan to the basket. Back and forth we go. Elmhurst now up by 3. Garner down low. Velosin gets hacked on her way to the basket. Lauren Goff will be charged with a foul. It'll be her third. It's the second of the fourth quarter. Nine points for Villison today. Contributing in all sorts of different ways for these Vikings, and she hits another free throw. She is the third Viking in double figures. Elmhurst has yet to have a player reach double figures yet, but it's still in the lead are the Blue Jays. Logan to the basket, fouled by Garner, and that will be her third. So Garner with 3, Malloy with 3, Newsom with 3, this is North Park, Zander with 2, Johnson and Somerville both with 4, Villison 2, and Pedersen 2. Logan with her 8th point, good on the free throw. Now we have a discussion amongst officials. Not entirely sure what this is all about. One shot for Logan. She becomes the third Blue Jay on the cusp of double figures with 9 points. No pressure applied by Elmhurst this time around off the make. Newsom brings it up. Villison thought about a 3. Then gets blocked by Gerke, but Somerville ends up with the rebound. Logan tips the ball up, and no foul called. North Park was certainly looking for one. Garner dribbles in, and her bounce pass for Somerville. There's a miscommunication, another turnover. 20th turnover of the day for the Vikings, as the North Park crowd gets all the more restless. 58-55, Urso driving, almost lost the handle. So she kicks it back out, and Logan can't quite save it. She touched over the mid-court line. Yeah, it looked like her foot was on the mid-court stripe there, and so it'll be a turnover back to North Park. Vikings trailing by 3. Newsom at the top. Averages 6.2 points. She's only got 5 today. Somerville wanted the screen. Newsom off the glass and in. There's Akaya Newsom. Spin move, Logan. Maybe a block. Ooh, a late whistle. And that's going to be Somerville's 5th. She is done. 5 personal fouls on Josie Somerville ends her afternoon. And it was a late whistle as well. So Somerville ends her afternoon, 6 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 3 rebounds in 12 minutes, 1 steal and 1 block as well. I think North Park thought that she had the block clean there. Ooh, hard to tell on the replay. Logan did go down, but it seemed like maybe a little bit out of control. That's a tough one for our officiating crew. Nick Cicero, Henry Vitzmick, and Eric Gilliam are our officials today as Logan goes to the line and reaches 10 points. First Blue Jay in double figures. Two-point lead for Elmhurst, 59-57. Logan smooth on the second one as well. Logan scored 7 of her 11 points at the free throw line today. She's 7 of 8. She missed her first attempt of the day and then hasn't missed. I don't even think she's hit the rim since. Newsom for three, and the tie, no good. Logan trying to track down the rebound. Newsom stepped on the baseline with the ball, trying to save it. Halfway through the fourth quarter, Elmhurst with the ball up by 3. Wyrick gives her so, now Gerke in the corner. Couple of cutters, including Cabrera, but Gerke opts to dribble towards the top. Dribble handoff for Wyrick. Down low, back to Gerke. Lifts it up, well off the mark on the shot. Rebound brought down by Zander. Gerke ended up on the floor, so a 5-on-4 if North Park wants to go quickly, but they can't. Gerke recovers. We have a whistle here and a foul on Elmhurst. It's going to be Elena Cabrera's first personal, and I'm surprised there's a player in this game who doesn't have a personal foul. Had 48 personal fouls in this game. We still got 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Here's Gardner at the top with a fresh shot clock, trailing by 3. North Park hasn't led since the 6:34 mark of the third quarter. Basket here would go a long way to helping them get another lead. Villison traveled. It's the 21st turnover on the Vikings today. Elmhurst has been able to turn those into 21 points. It's been one of the keys for the Blue Jays today. Gerke just at the free throw line, now Cabrera. Denies the screen, goes to the basket and finishes. Elena Cabrera with 8 points. One of 5 Blue Jays, with at least 8 points today. Pass down low is stolen by Logan. Logan 2-on-2 with Urso, doesn't really see Urso, so they back out. Cabrera, thought about the 3, didn't take it. Blue Jays with a chance to extend their 5-point lead. 3.5 minutes to go. Wyrick wants to milk some clock here. Not a bad idea. 10 on the shot clock. Ball taken away by Johnson. Johnson up to Newsom. Newsom is all alone. Cabrera trailing. Newsom lays it up, misses. Garner gets the rebound, puts it up. She misses. Garner goes back up and gets fouled. Oh. It's going to be Gerke's third foul. And Lauren Alba Gardner will go to the free throw line. She hasn't scored in a while, and she still has not in a while. She missed the free throw there. She's 5 of 7 from the line today, but she's been dishing out some nice assists instead of scoring to Johnson and Villison, among others. There she does get her 14th point of the day. Vikings call a full timeout. And that's their second full timeout, so they only have 30s remaining. North Park with 2 30-second timeouts left. Elmhurst with 2 30s and a full left. 3 minutes and 1 second to go. 4-point lead for the Blue Jays here at home, trying to get their first CCIW win of the season. Some other games on the docket today around the CCIW. Augustana faces Milliken on the road. North Central makes a short trip to Wheaton for a matchup with the Thunder. And Carroll makes the much longer trip down to Illinois Wesleyan. Illinois Wesleyan and Wheaton atop the conference, both undefeated. The Titans at 3-0, the Thunder at 2-0, North Park 2-1, Carroll 1-1, and then 4 teams at 1-2. Carthage, Augustana, North Central, Milliken. And then Elmhurst at 0-2 so far this year. Blue Jays coming in having lost contests against Illinois Wesleyan and Carthage, both by double digits. Also a loss at home to University of Chicago. But both Chicago and Illinois Wesleyan top 15 teams, so not necessarily bad losses per se. This would go a long way here for Elmhurst and getting them some momentum heading into the holiday break, at least when it comes to conference play. 4-point lead, Blue Jays with the basketball. Gerke has position down low on Johnson. Remember, Johnson playing with 4 fouls. Logan on the near side. Lisa Logan dribbles up, hands off to Urso. Now Gerke, baseline J, good. Becca Gerke only has 4 points. Those are big right there. Urso with her second assist. Newsom dribbled it off her foot, out of bounds. Another turnover for North Park. They have killed the Vikings today. Got to get the ball in. Still looking, still looking. Bounce pass to Wyrick, and then right back to Cabrera before the trap could come. Cabrera all alone. Now Urso, 4-3. No good. Gerke offensive board. And the putback. Becca Gerke with 4 big points here in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's an 8-point lead and a timeout called by North Park. Just 1 timeout remaining for the Vikings, a 30-second. Vikings at 5-4 and 2-1. Again, we talked about them trying to go and take some momentum into the holiday break. It would put them at 3-1, which would assure them one of the top 3 spots in the CCIW heading into January. And the Blue Jays have had other ideas here today. This 8-point lead matches the largest lead of the game for either team. Elmhurst has had a couple of 8-point leads, and right now, Blue Jays are on an 8-1 run in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. They've made their 3 of their last 4 shots have the Blue Jays. Becca Gerke as well is 3 of 4 from the field and 2 of 2 in the last 40 seconds. Jumper from the baseline and then a rebound putback basket. Cabrera, good defense on Gardner. And then the double comes. Gerke trying to put the ball away. Johnson goes to the basket and scores against Logan. Johnson was 16 today. Just a freshman out of Wheaton Warrenville South. Johnson's going to be a player in this league if she continues this up. Just able to get it across are the Blue Jays. Urso kicks Gerke, spinning around. Thought she had a better look spinning the other way, but Urso with the offensive board. 6-point lead, 90 seconds to go. North Park's got to think about fouling here at some point soon. Logan to the basket, floater, no, Gerke offensive board, and she gets fouled by Newsom. Newsom is pleading for the fact she thought it was a block. It's the 4th personal on Newsom. So both Newsom and Johnson playing with 4 personals. Newsom thought it was a block. Gerke to the free throw line. Free throw shooting continues to be the story today for the Blue Jays. 27 of 34 from the line. Becca Gerke with a great spurt here in the fourth quarter, and she knocks down another one. 8 points for Gerke. 6th Blue Jay with at least 8 in the contest today. North Park got to go quickly here, trailing by 8 with just over a minute to go. Millison for 3 near wing, way off the mark, misses everything. 1 minute to go, out of bounds to Elmhurst. Malloy checks back in, replacing Millison. Some offense, defense, I have to imagine here. Elmhurst a minute away from its first CCW win of the season. Logan, they get the ball in. Soft pressure by North Park. 8-point lead for the Blue Jays with the ball. North Park got to think about fouling here soon, sending the Blue Jays to the line. The Blue Jays have been so good at the line. Basket here can essentially seal the game. Make it a double-digit game with 40 seconds left. Urso out to Cabrera, 8 to shoot. Cabrera needs some help. Finds Wyrick to the basket. Count it as she falls down and one. Oh my. Kelly Wyrick. What a basket that was. She's only has 7 points today. She was, oh wait, did they call a turnover instead? Oh my, they called a turnover instead. So the whistle was not a foul, it was a travel, and my apologies on that. I did not see the travel call. So North Park still in it instead of the dagger. Now a three-pointer is off the mark. Rebound to Cabrera and a foul on Newsom. And that's going to be Newsom's 5th. That was a heck of a shot by Wyrick, but part of the reason why she was able to get some position was because she ended up traveling with it. So Newsom fouls out. Newsom 7 points on the day. 5 of them came at the free throw line. 4 rebounds, and that led North Park, who has been out-rebounded today by the Blue Jays 32-25 so far. Cabrera well short on that free throw with 23 seconds to go, and an 8-point lead for Elmhurst. A reminder that the Elmhurst men's basketball team will be in action here. Tip-off time of that one scheduled for, I'd say, about 4:30 at this point. Out of bounds to North Park with 18.9 remaining. Both free throws missed, and that'll take a little luster off the percentage for the Blue Jays today, but they were money from the free throw line for much of the contest, and a big reason why they're able to come away with their first CCIW win of the season. Final 10 seconds ticking away. Marissa Urso dishes to Cabrera, and that is going to do it. The Elmhurst Blue Jays improve to 4-5 on the year, get their first CCIW win of the season. 1-2 in the conference. North Park falls to 5-5 on the year, 2-2 in CCIW play. Blue Jays went 28 of 37 at the free throw line. That's 76%. That's over 10% above their season average from the free throw line. And that was really one of the big totals. The other big total, 23 turnovers forced by the Blue Jays and 25 points off of those turnovers to go along with, you have to just say it, there's so many players for the Blue Jays who contributed today. You have 6 players with at least 8 points, 7 players with at least 7 points, as you got Lisa Logan leading the team with 11. Queen John had 9, along with Courtney O'Donnell as well, and then 8 points from Becca Gerke, who had 6 in the final 3 minutes of the contest. Elena Cabrera with 8, Marissa Urso with 8 as well, and just a whole lot of scoring for a whole lot of different players for the Blue Jays. Were able to come away with a 68-60 victory. As for North Park, the leading scorer in the game was Jayla Johnson, who went 5 of 6 from the field and 6 of 7 from the free throw line in 33 minutes. Also, Lauren Alba Gardner had a great game, especially in the first half. She had 14 points on the day, hit 2 of 3 from downtown and 6 of 8 from the foul line. Joining them in double figures, Angelina Villison, who had 10 points and 3 makes from the field and 4 free throws for Villison. I'd like to thank Dennis for all the great work he did to my left, including showing the little teddy bear in the front of the camera before. That was a nice little touch. Luke Tanaka saying so long from R.A. Fagnall Hall. Remember, in about 30 minutes or so, we'll have the men's version of the Blue Jays and the Vikings. Head on over to the men's basketball channel and give us a watch. We hope you tune in for that one. This is Luke Tanaka signing off for BlueJayTV.com. The Blue Jays take the victory 68-60.